I didn't think my marriage would ever end, but unlike many women, my identity was not wrapped up in being married or a wife. But if your identity is built around a partnership or a marriage, it can change, not in years, but in a single event. I'm Lynette, life architect and founder of Iconic Global and the Rise Immersion, and this is a life redesigned. Every week, we talk about what it actually takes to build a life in midlife on your own terms, not by default, by design. Event. Life transitions such as divorce later in midlife, it can feel like an ending. But what if it is actually a new beginning? A chance to build a life that's even more aligned with who you have become. It was unexpected. The divorce knocked you sideways. You want to sit with why, how. Give yourself full permission to grieve the life plan that ended without getting stuck in that hollow space that has opened up inside of you. But you must understand that the practical rebuilding of your life often has to move faster than the emotional rebuild. It will be a challenge, but you must separate the emotional processing of the divorce from the practical things that must be done, such as legal, financial, and the environmental activities, such as your living situation. As I have shared in my other videos, as women, our default setting is to blame ourselves even when we are not at blame. We must see divorce as the wall of our marriage collapsing and not as a personal failure that would cloud the rest of our lives. No one goes into a marriage thinking or expecting that it will end in divorce, which is why divorce can invite instability into your life. The disorientation that follows a divorce is a predictable response. A woman can feel disoriented from what she had grown accustomed to, and this is okay. You should not rush to look like you got it all together for other people. Rebuilding your life is a deliberate act, not a performance for other people to critique. Firstly, let me say this: I am not a financial or legal advisor. However, if your divorce is in process, get your own legal and financial support before or to avoid a crisis. It is important that a woman going through a divorce complete an audit of her financial footing. How much money do you have in all of your accounts, your banking, your retirement? What debt do you have? You need to start separating the accounts, secure your liquidity, and understand what your net worth is. As a single woman, assess how your financial needs must change going forward, especially during this transition period. Plan out how your spending habits must immediately change, and then also plan for that period immediately after the divorce. Meet with your insurance agent and financial advisor to revise estate plans, your health proxies, insurance policies, and your beneficiary designations. Seek ways to establish individual credit and build a dedicated single income financial runway, including an emergency fund. Your home environment will prove to be a big part of your healing after divorce. Transform your living space into a restorative sanctuary that signals safety and autonomy. If you remain in the marital home, take a walk through your home and identify items or decor that anchor you in the past painful dynamics. remove them. Now may be the time to renovate, repaint, and redecorate your home to reflect your personal tastes. Think about routines that need to be reestablished, such as when you're going to eat your meals or the day of the week for the cleaning of the house. Emotionally, yes, there would be feelings of loneliness and maybe even emptiness after a divorce, as you are no longer sharing your space and time with a partner. However, there is a difference between feelings of isolation and solitude after divorce. Isolation focuses on the painful absence of a partner and can feel like an emotional retreat driven by feelings of loneliness, loss, and disconnection from yourself and the world. Whereas solitude embraces the empowering whole presence of yourself and is an intentional, peaceful state of self inhabitation when quiet moments transform into a sanctuary for healing and self discovery. Some practices that can help you through these times are establishing morning and evening routines that regulate your nervous system, especially when you are spending time alone. Some activities such as listening to meditative binaural music or first thing in the morning, practice somatic discharge. This is where you spend 2 minutes doing gentle body shaking or physiological sighs, where for two quick inhales through the nose and one long exhale out of the mouth with a sigh. And that will clear residual anxiety or sleep inertia. And at night, switch off harsh overhead lights 60 minutes before it's time for bed in favor of warm lamps to signal safety and cue melatonin production. Take a nightly mind dump, as I like to call it. Write down any lingering worries or tomorrow's task on a pad of paper. Then physically close the notebook to signal that your day is complete. Another activity you can do before bed is to take a pose. Do the legs up on the wall pose, where you rest your back with your legs elevated against a wall for 10 minutes. This will lower your heart rate and it will ease physical tension built up throughout the day. Go out on solo dates to an art show, a concert, or weekend getaway to the mountains or to the beach. It is also important to engage in hobbies and intellectual pursuits that bring focus and genuine fulfillment. Don't feel the need to go do group activities with family or friends to prove you're okay. This is the time that you are going to need for yourself. And let's talk about your identity. Reaffirm your truth. Identify where past decisions were made to maintain relationship harmony so that you don't fall into similar patterns of acceptance again. As a woman, you must stop seeking validation or consensus from outside of you regarding your next moves. You know what is best for you. Sit, listen, hear it speak. Start doing all the things that are required of you to live this solo life. This will allow you to rebuild your confidence through small, consistent acts of self-directed decision making. In this phase of the process, you want to shift from feeling lost to leaning into your independence. Reject that societal, familial, or friends' pity or expectations to rush into a new relationship to feel complete. Because who's to say that being suddenly single is being incomplete? Don't feel the need to bounce back on the dime. Shut down the pressure to move on according to someone else's schedule. Your redesign on your timeline. That's it. And don't let negative musings about divorce cloud this next chapter of your life. Reframe this phase as an independent woman, not as a tragic setback, but as an opportunity for total life redesign. You didn't choose this divorce, the demolition of your life, but you have the agency to choose how you want to rebuild it. Your life redesign may start with loss, but is no less incomplete than if you were starting your redesign from another jumping off point. Address this life transition as an opportunity for growth. Picture this: a future where you're not just surviving, but thriving, filled with self love, joy, confidence, and seeking new adventures. A life architect such as myself can guide you through this transition to help you emerge stronger and more fulfilled as you create a life that excites you every day. Remember, change isn't just possible, it's the pathway to a life you love and intentionally create. Inhabit your status as an unencumbered, independent woman building an iconic life. Thank you for being here. If this has landed with you, or you know someone else who needs to listen and hear this, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And that helps small channels such as mine. A life redesign is about one thing: living by design, not by default.